Out of form, rusty Blackburn Rovers return to EFL action this weekend to take on an in-form, awkward Millwall, of course, at Ewood Park. Who's going to come out top? We'll take a little look next. Match preview. Looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' visit to Ewood, of course, at home, taking on Millwall in the EFL Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button, keep you up to date. All things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're going to all here, boys, under one Rooski. That's right, Rovers are in a bit of a stinker right here, right now. Of course, can't win, can't score, and of course, and their position in the table is under threat from the chasing bloody pack, and that chasing pack could actually include Millwall if they get their act together. Of course, been on a couple of good results recently and starting to make a push up the table. But can they make another 3 points in the bag and take it back down to London? We'll take a little look at that and more in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs, the other Patreon guys. Thank you very much for your support behind the scenes. So let's get into it and preview the game. In fact, before we jump into it, we've got Jacob. Jacob standing by, of course. Thanks, Jacob, for giving your thoughts and opinions about the game against Millwall. Of course, tricky little unit they are, and of course, I'm anticipating a bit of a struggle myself. But what about you? What are you expecting for this match against Millwall at Ewood Park?
Hi guys, glad to be back on the channel after I did my vlog the other day at West Brom away. So what concerns me about Millwall at home? Obviously, you get what's on the tin, I guess, with Millwall. They're going to be strong, aggressive, and you know what sort of game you're going to be getting. It's going to be a bit of a scrappy game, I would have thought. But I do get the feeling Millwall are going to be coming to Ewood looking for a point. I think any team in their position that's languishing in lower mid-table would be coming to Ewood looking to frustrate Rovers and leaving with a point. I don't think they'd grumble. I don't think any Millwall fan would grumble with getting a point away at Ewood. Obviously, earlier on in the season, it was a 1-1 draw. I think it was the first away game of the season, I believe, and seemed a tight affair. Obviously, I think it was a Brereton header from Joe Rothwell's free kick that got us the equaliser, and I feel like it's going to take a similar sort of goal to get us in the lead, or if we are going to score a goal, I think it is going to be from a set piece, to be honest. I can't see us scoring from open play simply because of the fact I know Millwall are going to come to Ewood and sit back, like I said, and unfortunately we struggle to break a team down. We've been struggling with it all season and even all last season. So until someone like Bradley Dack comes back and could potentially make the difference in unlocking a defence, I simply can't see it. So I think it is going to have to be something from a corner or a free kick to separate the two sides, to be honest. So yeah, that's my main concern. The fact, unless we take the lead, Millwall are just going to sit back and soak up our pressure and won't come out. And unfortunately, due to us being a counter-attacking side, the teams know that coming to Ewood and have obviously frustrated us. You just have to look at, Swansea away. We struggled to break them down after they went 1-0 up. So it's vital for us to get the first goal, because if we don't, then we're going to have a challenge on our hands, that's for sure.
Well, thanks for that, Jacob. We'll kick on forward and we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Take a look, of course, a bit about Rovers, just in case you don't know. If you're a Millwall fan, you're stopping by for the very first time. This is, of course, your daily data. That's like what you need to take away from Rovers. We do play our games at Ewood Park. It does hold a capacity around about 31,367. Tony Mowbray is our captain. Our manager, Darrell Lennon, is our captain, and he is back. Preston North End is the nearest match for us. The most distance we'll have to travel, which we've done already, is up against Bournemouth. Last season, we finished 15th. At the start of the season, we were 20-1 to get promoted as champions. We're 10th was my prediction at the start of the season, but of course we're doing better than that. for now. But of course, we are slowly starting to drop out of form. Let's take a look at, of course, the recent run of 8 events. The Rovers haven't scored in the last 4 games. Just 1 goal in the last 5, of course. So, but on the flip side, a couple of clean sheets of the last 3 clean sheets of the past 5 as well. So it's a bit drab right now. We need goals, and of course, our main man is not going to be there. Let's take a look at some of the stats then before Jacob comes back with his starting 11. So stand by, Jacob. Of course, kicking off forward, it'll be Diaz does have 20 goals though so far this season. Gallagher's got 6, Cadra's got 4, Don's got 4 as well. As for the discipline, Bucky's got 11 yellows, Lennon's got 8, Van Heck's got 8, Rothwell 7, and of course the red cards, Lennon, Nyambe and Van Heck. And I believe, of course, Lennon should be back. But anyway, we do know Diaz is out, injury of course, but Jacob's standing by with his thoughts about the starting 11 for Blackburn Rovers against Millwall.
So what is the first 11 I expect to see on Saturday? I expect it to be same as usual, unfortunately. I think it'll be Kaminski between the sticks with Nyambe, Lenihan, Van Heck, Wharton. I'm going to say Pickering comes back into the team after being on the bench away at West Brom, and gives an attacking option off the bench with Giles, who we could potentially bring on and get balls being whipped into the box. Then I would say a midfield of Travis, Rothwell with Buckley as your false 9, and then I would say Dorlan comes into the team, obviously with Brereton's injury, and I would say Gallagher up front. I don't think Cadra's been impressive as of late. He looks like he tries too hard at times, but obviously Dolan's come on in and has impressed with his substitute appearances since he's come back from injury. So yeah, I'd like to see Dolan up front. Personally, I would rather be going with a 4-3-3. I think our formation has been sussed out, unfortunately. Obviously, like Mowbray's comments today in the press report he did, obviously being 3rd in the league and 2nd for a good while, teams are going to analyse you more and look to stop you rather than playing their own type of football. And I mean, it just seems to have been sus. Just like at the start of the season, we were struggling a bit defensively with a 4-3-3. I think, obviously, changing to the 5 at the back, it has shored us up defensively, but 2 goals in 8 games just isn't good enough, to be honest. And without Ben scoring goals, I just struggle to see where goals coming from in this formation. So, personally, I would rather go with Nyambe, Lenihan, Wharton and Pickering. That's a strong back 4. And then put Buckley into midfield with Travis as your holder and Rothwell on the left of that midfield, and then have Gallagher, Dolan and Cadra up front. I think take the game to Millwall. They're not, like I said, they're going to be coming for a point. So why play a defensive formation that is sound defensively? But considering, like I said, they are going to come for a point. They're going to try and nick a goal, and who can blame them? I know if I was in Millwall's position coming to 3rd in the league, I would be trying to nick a goal away from home. But we can't go out with the same mentality as going away to West Brom with a 5 at the back. To me, it just seems strange for us to not take the game to a team like Millwall, especially when we're crying out for a goal, and we have been lacking up front. I mean, I know they've got players of such quality like Jed Wallace, who has done damage to us in the past and could quite easily cause problems for us again, and I fully expect him to, but we are far superior to Millwall, and I think that's clear to see, and we need to flex our muscles a little bit and take the game to them, in my opinion.
Kicking on forward then, take a look at the Rovers fixtures heading out of this game. Of course, it doesn't get easier, to be honest with you. It just gets a little bit harder. Sheffield United, of course, midweek on Wednesday. We'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully have a watch on for that. We're not confirmed yet, but we're going to try and do that. Anyway, kicking on forward, it'll be back at Ewood Park next weekend. That's QPR at home. And then, of course, we'll hopefully have a bit of vengeance on our hands way back. And, of course, Saturday, the 5th of March. Kicking on forward, Bristol City, of course, we'll go to Ewood Park and then Derby. So that hopefully, after this next run of 4 games, including the Millwall Millwall game, we'll have a much more pleasant experiences in the Championship. So let's take a look, of course, Millwall then, shall we? Of course, a little bit of data on them before Jacob returns to tell us a little bit about a player that he would like to swap, or at least to put in the blue and white halves. But Millwall do play their football at the Den. 20,146 fans in attendance. Gary Rowett is the manager. He's done there. He's been doing a great job for them for a few years now. Alex Pearce, of course, captain at the start of the season. Is he still there? Let me know down below. Nearest match for them will be Fulham. Furthest distance they'll travel will be Swansea. 11th last time around. 25-1 at the start of the season, and 13th was my predictions. But it's probably on point right now. But of course they are in a bit of form. Anyway, so Jacob, stand by. Of course, if you could take one player from Millwall, who would you take? Of course, I've got my picks or my thoughts. But what about you? Who would you like to see represent Blackburn Rovers if you could take one from Millwall?
Who would I like to represent Rovers from the current Millwall squad? I mean, as I just mentioned, Jed Wallace is definitely their best player and has caused problems for Rovers in the past. He's always a sought after commodity, but has never seemed to really, been tempted to leave the Den. It almost seems. I mean, the fact they've been able to keep hold of him for so many years now, it maybe says to me he isn't going anywhere. But maybe it's just a matter of time. Millwall, they've always been in and around the playoffs, but have never really pushed for it and made a meaningful push like Rovers have this season. Well, obviously we're going for automatics, some would still say, but made a real push for promotion like we have this season. So I would definitely say Jed Wallace. I'd love him in the team, but also we were linked with Oliver Burke as well in January and potentially summer. I'm not sure whether we're linked with him then as well, but from Sheffield United on loan, he's gone on loan to Millwall, and he seems a player who Mowbray's interested in. Seems like potentially an Adam Armstrong replacement. Seems he's got similar sort of qualities to Adam Armstrong. So potentially a player we could also be interested in the future. Maybe we'll have to see whether he has a successful spell with Millwall, and then maybe look at signing him in the summer, especially if we weren't to get promoted. You would have thought Brereton would be on his way, and we would definitely need a replacement to come in.
Jacob will be sticking by us till the bitter end here. Of course, he's going to come back with his prediction. But of course, let's take a look at the recent form then for Millwall coming into this game. Pick up wins against QPR and Cardiff. Both of those games were at home. Their last away game, though, was a 3-0 loss to Fulham. Prior to that, they drew with Preston North End at home and also picked up a win against West Brom. So just one defeat the past 5. That's pretty good form. It's actually incredible form as well for Millwall. Just if you ignore the Fulham game like we did. They've just conceded 1 goal in 4 games. That's pretty impressive stuff. So they're probably one of the form teams in the Championship right now. Of course, coming at you, though, Bradshaw is the man with the most goals, 7 goals for his name. Afobe's got 7, Wallace has got 5, and the other Wallace has got 5 as well. As for Kupo, he leads the charge on the yellows. 7 yellows for him, Saville 6, Mitchell 6, and Kiefenbelt with 5. No red cards to their name. Take a look at my start 11 for Millwall. Then we've got Biakowski, of course, a very, very good keeper. In fact, one of the most underrated keepers in the Championship. Of course, I was pretty jealous. I was jelly when, of course, they snapped him up from Ipswich. I thought it was an absolute insane coup for them, and he's done an absolute tremendous job. And it goes to show, if you've got a solid man between the sticks, your chances of survival or improving your season go through the roof. And that's the same with us with Kaminsky. I think it all worked out in the end. I think we both got really good keepers, but there's not much between the two. I think Biakowski is up there. Wallace, of course, left back. Hutchinson, Cooper at, of course, make up a back 3. Malone on the left, McNamara on the right, Mitchell, Kieftenbelt in midfield. Wallace, of course, pulling the strings. Up top, we got Bennett and, of course, Ollie Burke leading the charge for Millwall these days. A player that we were linked with. Probably should have snapped him up, to be honest with you, with, of course, our dry spell right now in front of goal. Of course, taking a look at the games coming out of this one, of course, they'll take on Derby midweek. Then, of course, host Sheffield United, and, of course, Reading away. And then they'll take on Middlesbrough at home, following it up with, of course, Huddersfield Town, of course, on the back end of the run there. Meanwhile, take a look at the stats then for you. Rovers, of course, are represented on the left-hand side in the orange and red. Of their possession, 42% of all of it is in the middle third, 29% going forward, 29% going back. As for Millwall, 42% of all their possessions also in the middle third, 30% is in the opposition third, 27% is in the defensive third. When they have the ball, Rovers prefer on the right-hand side, 40% of all possession coming down the right, 36% down the left, and 23% down the middle. Of course, Millwall prefer on the right. Also, 41% of all their possession coming down the right, 35% down the left, and 24% down the middle. Let's take a look at, of course, the shot grid then, shall we? 57% of all of Rovers shot in the 18-yard box, 35% long ranges, and 8% in the 6-yard area. As for Millwall, 61% in the 18-yard box, 8% in the 6-yard box, and 32% long ranges as well. Of course, shot direction for Rovers, 20% down the left, 60% down the right, 64% down the middle, and of course Millwall also prefer on the left to the right, and of course 70% down the middle as well. Let's take a look at, of course, the recent form heading into this game then, shall we? Rovers home up against Millwall away. Of course, when you looked at the recent form there, Millwall's form did look good. However, that was both home and away. If you just look at their straight away form, it's pretty wobbly there, of course. Not great. Just one win in the past 6 games for us. Meanwhile, Rovers just one defeat in the past 6 as well at home. That was against Forest. We didn't have a red card. We weren't at our best. Hopefully, we will be at our best. Of course, coming at you this weekend. However, we only scored once at the past 3 games at home, so bear that in mind. Millwall on the flip side, didn't score the back-to-back games on the road. So we'll of course bear that in mind as well. Kick it off forward then, shall we? Take a look at the recent games. 15 times they played each other since 2012. 7 wins for Rovers, 5 wins for Millwall, and 5 draws, of course. Rovers just 1 win in 6 of them, 33% form up against the Millwall side. Just 1 defeat past 5 for them, 58% form as well. Our biggest win over Millwall, 2-0 win. The biggest win for them over us was a 2-0 win as well. We scored 20 goals to their 13 over the course of the 15 games, which works out around about 1.33 goals a game ratio compared to their 0.87. Take a look at, of course, the recent encounters then. This is both home and away. Earlier in the season, we picked up a draw. I was at the Den. Of course, back in August, it was a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, last time we played each other at Ewood Park was a 2-1 win. Of course, we never got to see it, though. Harvey Elliott on the score sheet, Adam Armstrong as well, with Scott Malone getting a goal for Millwall. Take a look at the recent home and away then. In fact, let's back that up a second here. So over the last 6, both home and away, Rovers picking up 4 wins, just 1 win for Millwall and 1 draw. However, the last 6 at Ewood, 4 wins for Rovers, 1 win for Millwall and 1 draw. That 1 win for Millwall was all the way back in 2013 in the FA Cup. Danny Shitu were on the score sheet there. But prior to that, of course, Rovers conceding just the 1 goal the last 4 games against Millwall. And that was, of course, last time around when Scotty Malone found the back of the net. Let's take a look at, of course, some numbers here for you. Of course, Rovers form is a little bit shit right now. Of course, on average, prior to this, we were banging in, according to the stat here, 2 goals a game. That's gone down to 1 goal a game because the last 8 games we only scored 2 goals, which is pretty criminal, of course. So 1-1 apiece at the moment, of course, averaging 11 shots a game compared to Millwall's 12, picking up around about 2 yellow cards again, 5 corners, 11 fouls. The error success rate is even. Of course, they're better on the ground, of course, with the possession, and of course, better with pass success rate. So realistically, it's not good on the black and white data there for you. Let's take a look at the home form versus their away form. Again, on average, Rovers picking up 2 goals a game. At home, 13 shots as well, compared to the 11 of Millwall. We're better in the air at Ewood Park compared to Millwall on the road. Of course, they're better with possession, of course, on the road than we are at home, but we're better with pass success rate at home as well. So hopefully those will be good numbers for us as well. Let's take a look at the goals then. Of course, we have scored 45. It's been a while since we scored. Well, no, 33 for Millwall. 29 of our goals have open play, 7 set pieces, 4 counter-attacks, 4 penalties, and 1 OG. As for Millwall, 18 goals through open play, 10 set pieces, 2 counter-attacks, 2 penalties, and 1 OG. We have a conversion rate of 12%. They have a conversion rate of 9%, picking up a 1.4 goals per game ratio, both home and away. Let's take a look at the goals conceded then. Of course, Rovers and Millwall both on 33. Of course, we have a conversion rate of 8%. They have a conversion rate of 9% on that one. Of course, 25 of our goals have been open play, 5 set pieces, 1 counter-attack, 1 penalty, and 1 OG. They've conceded 7 set pieces, 23 through open play, 1 counter-attack, 1 penalty, and 1 OG. Quite tight, or quite similar stats there. Let's take a look at what we should expect from this game. Kicking on forward, then our strengths, that's Rovers, of course, counter-attacks, scoring chances, creating long shot opportunities, creating chances through individual skill, creating chances, scoring chances, aerial duels, stealing the ball from the opposition. Blackburn, our weaknesses, keeping possession of the ball, avoiding offside, defending against attacks down the wings. Our style of play is attacking down the right, long balls, long shots, aggressive, consistent first 11, and we do like our opponents to play aggressively against us. As for Millwall, though, their strengths is aerial duels, counter-attacks, shooting from free kicks, protecting the lead as well. Jed Wallace, just put that name in there as a strength. He's a major strength, major talent as well. And wherever he goes next season, he's going to be an asset, a major asset. And of course, I would love to gobble him up if I could have him in my team, to be honest with you. Of course, the weaknesses, scoring chances is their weakness. Their style of play, long balls, attempting crosses, often playing out wide, taking a lot of shots, control the game in the opposition half, attacking down the right, and they also have a consistent first 11. So taking a look at the journey then, Rovers have remained in third despite being pretty shit for a long time. We had a little bit of a spell in second, but of course, it's not been great great since then. Millwall have had a journey as well, been up and down the table, of course, steadied up and mid-table, which I do believe where they'll end up this season. And again, I think year on, year out, that's what everyone expects. Millwall, they don't expect them to challenge, they don't expect them to get relegated, they just expect them to be steady eddies throughout the season. But I think they could have a joyous time if they do remain with Gary Rowett. I think if they could just stick with him, be a little bit consistent like we have been with Rovers. Of course, this is our one and only shot, I think, with Mowbray to get into the Premier League. And if we don't get it right this time, I think we do have to raise the questions about can he do it again next season. Gary Rowett, again, is a tried and trusted manager now. He knows the rules, he knows the ropes as well. And I think things are just going to get better with Millwall and of course, Gary Rowett. So, it might be steady Eddie this season, but you never know next season if they can keep a hold of Jeb Wallace, perhaps. Take a look at the form then. Rovers are in shit form. We're down at 20th out of the 24 teams. Pretty poor right now. That's, of course, picking up just 5 points out of possible 18. Of course, Millwall are in 10th, picking up 10 points as well out of 18 as well. Take a look at the home form, though. Rovers doing okay in that regard. Just one defeat the past 6, 5%, fifth in the table, 13% fall. Fortunately, we're not playing Millwall. They are third in the home table. Also picking up 13 in the past 18 as well. They are, of course, in not the greatest form in the away table, picking up just 3 points on the road of the past 6. So they're languishing down there at the bottom end of the table there. Take a look at, of course, some of the stats and figures then for you for this one. Of course, the best possession-based side is Swansea, of course, 61% possession. Fulham second, Sheffield United, Bournemouth and QPR. As for the most aggressive, Rovers still lead the charge, 77 yellows, 4 reds, Stoke, Middlesbrough, Cardiff and Bournemouth make up the Power 5. As for the aerial duels, Stoke lead the charge on that one. Blackburn, of course, second, Cardiff are third, then Millwall up in 4th there, West Brom are in 5th. Shots per game, Fulham lead the charge on that one, of course, West Brom, Coventry, Sheffield United and Stoke. Pass accuracy, Swansea, of course, top bins on that one. Fulham, Sheffield United, Bournemouth and QPR. Let's take a look at, of course, the games that take place starting today. That is Friday. Of course, Bournemouth will take on Forest. It might get postponed. There's a lot of concern about the wind over there. We'll see about that. But anyway, a big game regardless whether it goes ahead or not. Meanwhile, Fulham take on Huddersfield. That's also going to be quite tricky. QPR trying to get back to winning ways with the home match against Hull City. Coventry against Barnsley. Of course, we'll keep eye on that one. Sheffield United will take on Swansea. That's right, of course, over in Sheffield. Bristol City against Middlesbrough. Of course, Luton Town against West Brom. Trying to bounce back there for Stevie Bruce. Preston against Reading, of course, informed Preston. Reading, of course, on the ropes big time. Stoke against Birmingham, Derby against Peterborough, and of course Cardiff up against Blackpool. Well, the game of the day will be at Ewood Park, and of course we will have a watch along. I'll be there watching it live. So if you're bored, come check me out. We'll keep you bang up to date with the game, and hopefully smiling at the end of it if you're a Rover. Let's take a look at the table. Of course, we are in 3rd. Of course, win for us will close it in on 2nd, and hopefully Bournemouth have a shit show against Forest. Meanwhile, Fulham coming to Fulham. I mean, I do that often. I do get Fulham and Millwall middled up in my mind. It's just a tick, I think. Anyway, Millwall are in 14th, of course. Win for them, they could go up to 9th, and guess what? They're not mid-table. Then, of course, they'll be knocking on the door for the playoffs themselves. Take a look at, of course, the stats then, shall we? Mitrovic, of course, 31 goals, absolutely running away with it. Diaz, of course, is in 2nd with 20. He will not add to that tally this weekend. And then, of course, the chasing pack as well. As for the most assists, Gardner, so swiftly to charge on that one. Willock up there as well. Giles, of course, on our books, yet to deliver an assist at the moment, of course. So standing by is Jacob with his own prediction. Give it to me straight. What do you think about the game? And, of course, what do you think about, of course, the final score at Ewood Park?
Obviously, I'm leaning towards the thought that Mowbray is going to stick with the back 5, the 5-3-2, or the 5-2-3, whichever way you want to look at it. So I'm going to be a bit positive and go for a 1-0 win at home. I think a win's obviously due. But obviously, if we're going with this formation and the fact we don't have Brereton, I think it could be a bit of a smash and grab like it was against Middlesbrough. I mean, personally, I think we should be blowing a side like Millwall out the water at home. I know they're not an easy team by any means, but they're a team that doesn't currently have anything to fight for really this season. This season's almost a write-off for them at this point. They're not going to find themselves in a relegation fight, and they're also nowhere near the playoff spots to be challenging for that. So, considering we've got everything to play for, trying to catch Bournemouth in 2nd, we should be blowing a side like these out the water. But I will go for a 1-0, and I'm going to guess for a Dolan goal because I do believe he will be starting the game on Saturday. And I think he's due a goal. It's been a long while now since he scored a goal for Rovers. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dolan and hope his trickery and pace could be a sort of kryptonite against this Millwall defence. That probably the last thing they want is someone like Dolan running at them. To be honest, a striker like Gallagher, they'll probably enjoy playing against someone like him. He's not the best aerially, but he will get crosses put into him. But someone like Dolan, who's running at them as the trickery and the speed, is the last thing they want. So yeah, I'll go with a Dolan goal, and I hope he does get one, because it's, like I said, it's been long overdue, and he runs himself into the ground for this team, and frankly deserves more minutes, to be honest. But yeah, a Dolan goal, 1-0, and hopefully that can set us in good stead for the away trip to Sheffield United.
So you heard well about what Jacob had to say, and of course, what about me? I'm going to give you my daily digest on this one. I'm going to go with a cheeky 2-1 win for Rovers. We need a win, and we need it now. I do not know if we can get something out of this one. If we fail to get anything out of this game, I do not know when our next win's going to come, because we've got Sheffield United, of course, away on Wednesday. Then, of course, I think it's QPR on Saturday. Fulham not far away either. So 3 monstrous games that will define our season. If we can get a win here, that, of course, will springboard our hopes that maybe we can steal some points from some of these guys elsewhere. But anyway, 2-1 win for me, for Rovers over at the Den. But anyway, that's my take on it. Be sure to get your own take on it as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Of course, give me predictions, of course, and don't forget, stop by for the watch along. We'll hopefully have one of the Roverseas Mafia standing by as well. But anyway, that is it. Again, we expect hopefully a vlog or two, a match reaction sort of video as well. We'll have my review, so we're going to have this game covered from, of course, the kickoff all the way through to the debrief at the end. But until then, guys, smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe. See you soon for the next one, of course, whenever that is. Until then, we're done for now.